Right, hello there everybody, and welcome to today's video. This is me last for the new year, so I hope you all enjoy it. And I'm going to be talking about Christmas telly 1977, 78 and 79. I've made a few changes, not that anyone will notice, but anyway, um, don't forget to check out my TikTok on Christmas Day from 11 o'clock till 12 o'clock. It's just the 80s movie trivia quiz. So, yeah, don't forget to check that out. Right, and I hope everyone has a very, very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I hopefully will be back some point in the new year. Anyway, on with today's video. So, on Christmas Eve, on Saturday, the 24th of December 1977, on BBC One, they had the day started at 5 to 9 with Bagpuss. Then the old black and white serial Flash Gordon Conquers the Universe. Noel Edmonds' present swap of the Pops. At 11 o'clock, the movie Elvis and GI Blues. Soviet at 12:40, Soviet Gymnastics Spectacular. Then the movie White Christmas was on at 1:30. Then the Jubilee 77 was at 3:25. The news was at 5:25. Then you had the Emu Broadcasting Company was at 25 to 6. At 6 o'clock, Super Pets. The movie Third Man on the Mountain. The Duchess of Duke Street was at 8:15. At 9:05 was the Dick Emery Christmas Show. Starsky and Hutch was at 10 to 10. The news was at 20 to 11. Then you had Andre Previn's Christmas Night Music Night was at 10 to 11. Then you had the Mass at 5 to 11. Then at 1:15 was the weather, and then BBC One closed down. Meanwhile, over on ITV, at 9 o'clock, the day started over there with 9 o'clock with Our Bumper Christmas Show. 11 o'clock movie The Flying Deuces, I think that's what it's called. 11 o'clock. That was at 11 o'clock. 12:25 was the news. 12:30 was World of Sport. 5:05 was the news. 5:15 was Celebrity Mr. and Mrs. New Faces was at 7:45. Not 7:45, 6:45, sorry. Man from Atlantis was at 6:45. The Rag Trade at 7:45. McLeod at 8:15. At 20 to 10 was Bing Crosby's Merry Old Christmas. The ITN News was at 20 to 11. Pre-U Stone Cold Stand Santa Claus, I don't know what that was at 5 to 11. Then that was followed by the midnight service at 11:25. On Christmas Day in 1977, on BBC One, the day started off with The Star of Bethlehem at 5 to 9. Playboard was at 9:55. Michael Benton at 10:10. That was an appeal for a charity. At 10:15 was Christmas Worship. 11:15 was with the Weatherman. 11:15 was The Bear Who Slept Through Christmas. The movie National Velvet was at 20 to 11. At 20 to 12, sorry. Are You Being Served was at 20 to 2. Top of the Pop 77 was at 2:10. The Queen was followed by the Queen at 3 o'clock. Then at 3:10 was Billy Smart's Christmas Circus. 4:10 was the movie The Wizard of Oz. Basil Through the Looking Glass was at 10 to 6. Evening News was at 6:20. Songs of Praise special was at 6:25. 7:15 was Bruce Forsyth and the Generation Game. The Mike Yarwood Christmas Show was at 8:20. Walker and Wise Christmas Show was at 5 to 9. The news at 10 o'clock. Then you had the movie Funny Girl at 10:05. Then at midnight, weather, and then followed by the close down. Over on ITV, you had at 8:45 the Christmas Carol concert. Cartoon Time at 9:45. Praise Mass for Christmas Day was at 10. A Merry Morning was at 11. Cartoon Time at 11:45. At 12 was the movie Robinson Crusoe and the Tiger. Just William at 2 o'clock. The Queen at 3. To See Such Fun was at 3:10. At 20 to 5 was Emu's Christmas Adventure. 5:40 was the news. You had the Muppet Show at quarter to 6. Sale of the Century was at 6:15. Stars on Christmas Day was at 6:45. The movie Young Winston was at 7:15. ITN News was at 10:05. Then you had the Stanley Baxter's Christmas Greatest Hits was at 10:15. Then that was followed by at 11:30 Celebration. Then at 12:30 in the morning, ITV closed down. So that's quite an array there. In '78 on BBC, Christmas Day was on a Sunday. No, Christmas Day wasn't on a Sunday. It was on a Monday. Christmas Eve. Sorry, my apologies. Christmas Eve was on a Sunday, and the day started on BBC One as at 9:15 with Camberwick Green. The Sunday Gang at 9:30. Naya Singhadi's Naya Javan. I think that was an Asian programme. I think that was at 10. Then you had the movie Hans Christian Andersen. Sorry, that was one of the songs when he when the I think it was one of the policemen asked who he was, and he started singing who he was, and they arrested him. That was at 10:30. Hans Christian Andersen. Sunday Worship was at 12:20. News headlines was at 1 o'clock. The movie Christian was at Chrisen. My writing is terrible. Was at 1:05. Sleeping Beauty was at 2:55. Then you had Pinocchio, the drama Pinocchio, at 5:20. That was followed by the news at 10 to 6. Dame Margaret Fontaine was at 6 o'clock. Songs of Praise was at 6:05. All Creatures Great and Small was at 7:15. The movie El Cid, starring Charlton Heston, which is a really, really good film. It's an old film, but it's a really great. It's one of those films that just stands out. It's a really good film. That was at 8:05. News at 11. Here We Go Waltzing was at 20:11. Then you had the Christmas Midnight Communion Mass at 5 to midnight. Then at 5 to 1 in the morning you had the weather and regional news, and then at 1 o'clock BBC One closed down. Over on ITV on Christmas Eve, on 1978, the day started at 9 o'clock with a Christmas two-step. Then 9 a.m. at Christmas two-step. 9:30 was the first Christmas. 10 o'clock was morning worship. Another good film, The Bible in the Beginning, was the movie. That finished at 2:15. The big match was then. At 4:15 was Pam Aris Hong Kong Christmas. 5:15 was ITN News. The movie Godspell was at 5:30. Bruce Forsyth Christmas Eve was at 7:15. At 9:15 was Charade. ITN News was at 10:30. Then the movie Charade continued at 20 to 11. At 11:30 was the Midnight Mass. Meditation for Christmas at 10 to 1. And then ITV closed down at 1 o'clock. On Christmas Eve in 1970, Christmas Day in 1978, which was on a Monday. You had the day started on BBC One at 5 to 9 with Christmas Carols for Cambridge. 9:50 The Flumps. 10:05 was Christmas Day Worship. 11 o'clock was the weather. 11:05 was the Spinners at Christmas. 11:25 was the movie Clanbake. Sorry, my writing is appalling. I do apologise. That was at 11:35. At 1:40 was Holiday on Ice. Top of the Pops at 2. The Queen at 3. Larry Grayson's Christmas Game was at 3:10. The Sound of Music was at 4:10. Actually, I've got an interesting fact to you about that. Did you know the BBC paid £2 million for the rights to show The Sound of Music over a period of 10 years? And so they could show the film about 10 times or something like that. And they wonder why we resent paying our TV licence when they pay that sort of money for a film like The Sound of Music. I'm sure it's a great film. I'm sure I watched it once and I don't know why, but it made me cry. I have no idea why, but But seriously, £2 million just for The Sound of Music to say that they could show it over a period of 10 years. I mean, seriously, come on, people. And then they wonder why we get peed off with paying our TV licence. Then at 7:10 was the evening news. At 7:15 was Some Mothers Do Have 'Em. The Mike Yarwood Christmas Show at 8 o'clock. True Grit, A Further Adventure was at 8:45. That was actually a TV-made movie. I don't think it had actually anything to do with the original True Grit that starred John Wayne. Then at 10:20 was news. Parkinson at the Pantomime was at 10:30. Then at 11:35 you had The Christmas Ghost Story, The Ice House by John Bowen. Then BBC closed down to think it was about midnight, and obviously had the weather and all that, and then BBC closed down at midnight. Meanwhile, over on ITV, the day started in 1978 on Christmas Day on ITV. 8:45, The Christmas Story. 9 o'clock was the What's It from Whiz Bang. Pipkins was at 9:10. Christmas Clapperboard was at 9:25. A Merry Morning at 10. Christmas Morning Service at 10:45. The sequel movie at 12 o'clock was Living Free. That was the sequel to Born Free. Living Free was the sequel to that film. That started at 12. 1:30 was Crossroads. Billy Smart's Christmas Circus was at 1:55. The Queen at 3. The movie Battle for Planet of the Apes was at 3:10. I think that was the last of the original films that they made. It was actually, I've actually got the Planet of the Apes ones, all the original ones anyway. They're very good. 5 o'clock was 3-2-1 Christmas Special. 6 o'clock was the news. Coronation Street at 6:15. The James Bond film that day was Diamonds Are Forever at 6:45. The Morecambe and Wise Christmas Show was at 9. That actually moved from BBC over to ITV in the last time, and it was 6 years before Eric Morecambe passed away. 11 o'clock was the news. The movie There's a Girl in My Soup at 11:10. At 10:01 was a midnight meditation for Christmas night, and then ITV closed down at 1 o'clock. So yeah, that was 1978. On Monday the 24th of December 1979, BBC One's Christmas Eve lineup looked like this. At 9 o'clock, Finger Bob. 9:55, What a Mess. Jack and Ori at 10. Captain Caveman at 10:15. Young Explorers at 10:25. Magic Roundabout at 10:53. An old black and white Zorro was at 11. 11:25 was the Mickey Mouse Club. The Greatest Heroes of the Bible was at 12. 12:45 was Midday News. The movie Treasure Island was at 1 o'clock. I think that starred Orson Welles. Hound Hunters was at 2:30. Wings Over the World was at 3. Regional News, except for London, because they showed Tom and Jerry, was at 3:53. Play School was at 5 to 4. Touchy Turtle was at 20 past 4. Jack and Ori was at 6:25. A Star for My Son was at 20 to 5. Blue Peter was at 10 past 5. You had the evening news at 20 to 6. Tom and Jerry again was at 10 to 6. Rolf at Christmas was at 6 o'clock. Round Robin was at 25 to 7. It's a Christmas Knockout at 7 o'clock. Val's Christmas Music was at 8. 8:45 was the news. 9 o'clock was the Go-Between. 9 o'clock was the movie Go-Between. 5 to 11 was Music for Christmas. Then at quarter to midnight was the Midnight Mass. That was Christmas Eve on BBC One in 1979. Meanwhile, over on ITV on Monday the 24th of September 1979, their day started at 9:30 with Walt Disney Christmas Classics. The movie Happened One Christmas at 10 to 10. A Family Circus Christmas at 25 to 11. Jamie and the Magic Torch was at 12. Once Upon a Time was at 10 past 12. ITN News at 1 was at 1 o'clock. Thames News was at 20 to 20 past 1. Sorry. The movie Ben-Hur was at 1:30. That's another great film. Charlton Heston. He did a lot of those films, and a lot of those films were really good, and he was really good in them. At 5:20 was ITN News. 5:30 Thames News. You're only young twice at 5:05. Oh, 6:05. Sorry. Crossroads was at 25 to 7. Give Us a Clue was at 7 o'clock. Coronation Street 7:30. London Night Out, the Christmas special, was at 8. The Tamarad Seed was at 9. 9:15 ITN at 10:15. Sorry, my apologies. Was the news. Then that movie continued at half past 10. Then at 11:30 was the midnight mass. Yeah, that was Christmas Eve on ITV in 1979. On Christmas Day on BBC One, the day started at 9 with a song, A Star Over Bethlehem. 10 o'clock morning service. The weather was at 2 minutes to 11. Bagpuss at 11. The Spinners at Christmas at 11:15. Black Beauty at 11:45 was at 11:45. John Curry at half past 1. Top of the Pops at 2. The Queen at 3. Larry Grayson's Generation Game was at 20 past 3. The movie The Gnome Mobile was at 20 past 4. Evening News was at 6:15. Blankety Blank was at 10 to 6. All Creatures Great and Small was at 6:30. 7:20 was the Mike Yarwood Christmas show. 8 o'clock to the Manor Born was at 8. The movie at 8:30 was The Sting. News at 25 to 11. At 11:15 was Parkinson at Christmas. And then at 5 past midnight was the weather. And at 10 past midnight was Close Down. So that was quite a short day for the BBC on Christmas Day. Meanwhile, over on ITV, when Christmas Day actually fell on a Tuesday, in 1979, ITV's day kicked off with A Beautiful Morning at 9:15, The Christmas Story at 9, A Merry Morning at 9:15, Christmas Morning Service at 10, Lassie, A New Beginning at 11, Walt Disney Classics at 1:15, Christmas Oh Boy was at 1 o'clock, Crossroads at 1:30, Star Games at 2, The Queen at 3, Goldfinger was the movie at 3:15, 321 was at 5:15, Georgia Mildred was at 6:15, the movie The Three Musketeers was at 6:45, Christmas with Eric and Ernie was at at quarter to 9. At 9:45 was This Is Your Life special. At 10:35 was the ITN News. Chloe's Christmas special at 11:15. More a Mystery at Love Ho. Sorry, that was a movie at. 11:45 was the movie A Mystery at Love Ho. At 1:45. 1:05 was A Child Is Born, and then at 10 past 1 in the morning was Closed Down for ITV. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There we round up the 1970s and what we were watching all through the Christmas period. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of my videos for this year. I hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas. I'm sorry if my writing is terrible. I do apologise if I hesitated. I did have to check. So anyway, I hope you all have a very, very Merry Christmas. I hope you all get what you want. And don't forget to check out my TikTok live, as I said, on Christmas Day 11. And so please have a wonderful Christmas and also have a wonderful New Year. And I shall see you some point in the New Year. And have a great day, everyone. Bye bye.